Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Kind of a chilly day today. It's about 40, feels like. I mean, it's probably going to be a nice day, but it's still kind of chilly. As you guys know from yesterday's, actually, I had 2 episodes yesterday, which is pretty cool, right? I was messing with this thing yesterday, and while this thing ran just fine before I put it away for the winter, right? I had to try to get it going because it sat in my shed for probably 9 months or so, you know, during the winter. So when I removed the air filter box and the air filter base, right, there's a gasket that goes in the back of it. This is a quantum engine, right? So it's got that intricate gasket that seals a air channel. So when you prime it, right, air is supposed to go through this channel into the hole to help it prime. Well, one of the big problems with the air filter base on these quantum engines is that that channel that has the sidewalls, people screw the thing on too tight, right? And it pushes those walls in. Therefore, when the gasket is trying to seal the channel, there are air leaks in there. So what a lot of people say to do is you can double gasket it, right? I've also seen people put like electrical tape along that channel so that it makes sort of a seal. So you're actually creating a gasket for a gasket, if you will, right? But I'm going to try all those things today to see if this thing will prime, because this thing starts just fine. Except for one thing though, it does kind of smoke too. When it smokes, when you start it up, when it runs, not so much, but then when you shut it off again, it smokes a bit. So maybe that's a head gasket issue, you know, because of the blowback, right? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to fix the primer thing, right? And then I'm going to tighten the head bolts on here just to see, you know. Also, I may have another quantum engine in the back somewhere, so if all else fails, I'll take that quantum engine out, put the parts of this engine onto that one, and build an engine to put on here. Because it's a decent deck, it's a decent, I mean, it's worn and stuff, but it's a decent push mower deck and it has a bagger too, so it might be worth it to get it going, you know, instead of course, chucking it. Or I guess I could sell it really cheap, but I would like to get it to start, prime and start, you know, whether it smokes or not. Yeah, that's an issue too. But I actually have a few other air filter bases with the primer bulb in it. And so if that has a better channel, you know, more defined channel that's not damaged, it might prime just fine with the with a new gasket. And then if I get this one going, I'm going to work on these two. These two haven't been started all winter either. I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about. So here's the channel right there. This channel right here. As you can see, what people do is that they screw this hole too tight, right? And as you can see right there, this part is pushed in a little bit, where the rest of this has this, you know, upper lip that sticks out like a wall. Not a wall, but, you know, a protruding lines that outline the channel, right? When the gasket goes on top of that, it creates the seal. But as you can see right over here, this part here is a lot lower than over here, see? So the air leaks through this area, so you have to like kind of, I mean, if the gasket was like rubbery, it would work, you know? So as you can see in my shed, I actually found another quantum engine. I got this from my friend Nick over in Lindenhurst, 5-speed Ash. It needs some stuff over here, some stuff over there, but, you know, if this engine doesn't smoke, right, I could take all the stuff from that one and put on here. That is, if it smokes. Or I could just, if it's the head gasket, which I would check, right, I could just simply take the gasket out of here. But anyway, so look, I found a lot of air filter bases too as well. And I looked at this one here. This one also is pushed in over here, right? It's always here. Over here you could feel it. It's nice and crisp, right, and sharp. Over here it's pushed in, so this part of it, I guess the lip is pushed in, so that would be the area where there would be a lot of leakage, you know, air leakage. This disgusting crap over here actually looks like it's in perfect condition. Look at the channel. I don't know if you guys can see, but this channel is protruding upwards. So I think this one might work after it gets cleaned up, because this is not pushed in. This looks good. This one over here is also pushed in. It's flat. This is probably no good. This one here is also good, right there. I could see the wall, you know? So this one's good. Problem with this one is, this is for an auto choke, so there's no primer bulb. But all you have to do is just push that in, remove that, put the primer bulb in, and this would be good to go too. So I have two choices here. This one and this disgusting one. These I'll leave here because they're both pushed in. These are pretty much useless except for maybe the primer bulb. Got a couple of springs here. Here's another one that's an auto choke, right? This is also good. So I have three options here to get this to prime right. I wanted to show you guys during my power outage what I did for television, because I didn't want to hook up the Verizon box and that power and the router and all that stuff. It was just too much trouble, right? So I just got this old Viore, I don't know what it is, 8-inch or something like that, 6-inch portable TV color, and it runs on electricity, obviously, but I wish it ran on battery, but it doesn't. Anyway, it has an antenna that goes to a magnetic aerial, if you will, and it's magnetic. You could just like stick it somewhere, you know, where it's high up, whatever, and you can scan for like some channels locally, and here in Long Island you can get like 4 or 5 channels, you know, and it's free TV. It's crap TV, but it's free. Since it's such a nice day out, I figure I'd pull out a old carpet or old area rug here and wrench outside, because it's nice and sunny, you know. It's good lighting too. Anyway, so I wanted to address my friend Samuel Sandoval, who has the same setup as I. You know, he has the telescopic boom mic, you know, with the furry thing. And I always thought that, you know, didn't record as well, you know. He told me that I need 3 bands, and I thought I did, you know, but I don't. As you can see, this plug for the furry telescopic boom mic only has 2 bands. So I don't think it's working right. I need an adapter that has 3 bands, right? The wireless mic that I'm using right now, this has 3 bands. Yes, I know, it's only a push mower. Why are you going through so much trouble? Well, it's not because it's so much trouble, and not just because it's a push mower, but it's the concept of why the Briggs quantum primer system doesn't prime. That's the whole point, is that I don't think I've ever done a video on why it doesn't prime. And it's kind of fascinating because the quantum engines are so popular and they're out there. I mean, and a lot of people are going to have this issue. I've seen a couple of videos on this, and it's kind of dumb the way they designed this. I mean, why don't they just seal this channel and make a hole? You know what I mean? I mean, why can't they just mold it that way? But it's all dependent on these gaskets. As you guys know, Sam bought me a whole package of these brand new gaskets, and they're great. And they feel like they feel rather thicker than the OEM ones, you know, which is better. But I think they feel less rubbery than the OEM ones. And the key to it is it being, you know, rubbery and flexible so that it seals the channel better, you know. These are just made out of regular gaskets, but they are thicker though, to compensate for the lack of flexibility is what I'm gathering. Some of you guys say, hey Henry, where's that cool stool that you made? You never use it. It's true, I never use it. I don't know why I never use it. I'll use it today. Ever since I whipped out my radio flyer from the corner there to build that shelf, I've been using this as my field tool trailer, you know? It's got every tool that I really need, that I use on a regular basis. So here we go. We're going to get started by taking off that cover and removing that air filter base with the good one. So I got a block of wood over here to pivot so that it at least is towards me a little bit more, a little bit higher. Also, it prevents the gas from leaking out too much if that doesn't have too much gas. So look, these two over here are auto chokes. See, there's no primer bulb, it's flat, right? You can always easily replace them with a primer bulb if you wanted to. These look like they have two good channels, right? However, I do have one that's exactly what I need with a primer bulb, but it is very dirty and it looks like it has a very good channel there. So I think this one might work. I just got to clean this up a little bit. Brushed it off. I was going to wear gloves because, you know, I figured you can keep your hands clean. It's impossible. I was wearing gloves all day yesterday and my hands were still filthy, you know, and it impedes what you really need to do, you know. You get a better feel of what you're doing when you don't have the gloves on. So like I said, it's just a... Would you believe it? I could see it priming now. What the hell? Well, you know what? Now it's priming. You know what it is? During the time that it sat, right, the fuel saturated the gasket, right, made it wet. Because it's wet, it's more viable and flexible. I just primed it like 10 times, whatever, just to test it. Let's just roll it off this carpet so I don't suck it in. See if it starts. No? Seemed like it was priming. I mean, you shouldn't have to prime it that much, you know? Okay. So it doesn't work. We're going to switch it then. 5/16. Look how yucky and wet that is. You see what I was talking about here? Over time, this becomes a little bit more viable, see? I'm going to take this gasket off to show you. Well, I want to see for myself. Actually, this isn't that bad. Huh, I'm kind of surprised that didn't work. This channel looks pretty good. Alright, well anyway. Let's just try this one. Should I put this gasket on that's kind of wet and rubbery? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. It's going to be better than the newer one. So you can only put this on one way because there's a hole here, and hole here on the tabs, right? And there's only three spikes that stick upward to allow you to put them there. So you can only put these three to match the spikes right there. You can't put this on wrong. It can only go on one way. If it goes on at all. I don't know. We could only try, right, fellers? Also, this surface here has got to be really clean too on the carburetor. One of the reasons why they bend or they get messed up is because people impact them too hard. What the hell? Like I just did. All right. Let's see if it primes. Ooh, wow. That's priming really well. Blobs and blobs of fluid coming out of the primer. This time it might work, I think. Methinks. No cutting. Just taking it off the area rug. I just pushed it 3 times, okay? Still doesn't work. Why doesn't it start? That's mind-boggling because it is priming. Yep, it is priming. Man, that's incredible. It's priming, but it's not starting. The plot thickens. Let's see if that works. As you can see, there's a lot of smoke. And I ran this yesterday, so there shouldn't be so much smoke. If there was smoke hydrolocked in the muffler, it should have already burned away. And it doesn't start. And even if we prime it, will it start? You know, the gas that I put in here had some kind of a red hue to it, like stabilizer. Maybe the gas is bad. Still won't start. Okay, so it only starts with fluid. Could be the bad gas, but I want to see if I can tighten up the head bolts. There are 8 head bolts here. Just tighten them up a little to make them more snug. A little bit, moved a little. It's priming. I see fluid in there. It's wet. So I want to rule out the gas, but I mean, it still smokes though. So should I just create another engine? Maybe I should just make another engine. Maybe I should take the head off and see if the gas gets blown. Maybe I'll do that. Some guy wants to see this Toro. See if it starts up. I have it listed for a 150. So I'm back. Easy sale, as you guys just saw. I did a hyperlapse of the entire transaction. Didn't haggle with me. I said 150 firm, and that's exactly what he gave me. So look, we're back here again, right? And it looks like it's leaking. See? All kinds of stuff coming out. And yet it still doesn't start. So either way though, I'm going to take the head off, right, and see if the gasket's blown. That could contribute to it not starting because of lack of compression because of the gasket. There's really no point on fixing this if it smokes so bad, you know what I mean? I can't sell it anyway with it smoking like this. So I think more than likely I'm going to take the head off, check the gasket, right? And we'll go from there. If the gasket's blown, I think I'm just going to swap it out with another engine. I have another engine, and we'll just, didn't look like it was that apart, you know, just take the accompaniments off, spring, whatever brackets and stuff. It doesn't look like it's too tough to make an engine to put on here. So we're going to disconnect that, and let me get over there. It's not comfortable. Going to take off the top so I can have a better access to it. So did you guys hear about Kyle Larson? Apparently he used the N-word in one of those virtual racing games, and a lot of people heard it. He got fired from Chip Ganassi Racing. And Lucas Oil also cut ties with them. It's probably best. Wow. That's weird. Gotta take off these 3/8 bolts for the cover. No? Wait. No, gasket looks good. A lot of carbon buildup. Ooh. A lot of carbon buildup. But you know what? Since I just broke that, a lot of oil here. A lot. See that? So the rings are bad. A lot of oil. That's why the smoking. A lot of oil is getting through the rings. See? And a lot of carbon buildup too. With that, should be scored. The piston and the wall could be scored. Pinch this, pull out, Z-bend. That's that. going to drain the gas and then put it on its side, remove the engine mounting bolts. Going to remove the carburetor. I know this is a lot of work for a push mower, but you know what? This is useless to me right now if I can't sell it, right? So I have to do it. I have to do it. If you can't sell it, then why do I have it, right? It's just junk if you can't sell it. And since I have another engine, why not try to get it work? I mean, it's a different story if I had no other options, right? So as you can see, this gas has got like stable in it, a lot of it. Let's multitask and see if I can hold this and the thing while removing the carburetor at the same time. Multitasking. Whoa. Holy cow, that was a lot of fuel. So drain the gas, we're going to take the blades off. One-inch bolts. 3 of them to remove the engine.
Henry, you're gonna break it.
Well, I don't care because this engine's trash, remember?
Oh yeah. Just break it then.
I am going to just break it. Break. Break. Wow, it's not breaking? It should be breaking. How about that? Didn't break. Thought it was going to break. And there is the engine. Got a new engine. Well, not new. Since I'm here, I could clean this easier. So this engine I got from 5-Speed Ash. He says it works. It just needs all the side stuff. He said he might have, there might be water in it or something, so I have to drain whatever's in there. Maybe. He gave me like 3 or 4 of them. He was throwing them out, so I think he had way too much stuff. But it has the gas tank. Oh, I see why he threw it out. Stuck bolts in there. That's no good. Got to see if there's another easier way to do it.
So I've been at this for a while. It took a while to drill those 2 holes out, and I actually was able to get it in there, but then I jammed a screw in there and it broke again, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out later. But right now it actually holds on there pretty well. So I actually started this up, you know, with some primer spray, some carb cleaner, and it started and fired up and it didn't smoke. But then I saw stuff blowing out the side, so I figured, oh boy, we got a rat's nest. So here it is. There's a rat's nest. I wanted to show it to you. My other camera is being charged. As you can see, this is the old engine. I took the carburetor off of there, some of the linkages, and put it on this one. I'm going to get rid of this rat's nest and button everything up and put it together. Then I'll worry about the other engine mounting bolt. That actually cleaned up very well. Okay, now I'm going to put everything back together again. So I put everything together again. It chokes, starts, no smoke. Seems to run pretty well.
Kind of sucked, but I have to get it done, you know? When I start tearing into it, I gotta finish. It took me all day to do this. It wasn't worth it, but gotta do an engine swap. Got her going. We'll see you guys next time. Mowers and blowers.
Hey guys, support my channel, buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram @MowersBlowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on the next project. Have a great day.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.